So guys, welcome to another week. I hope you guys had a profitable week. And not gonna lie, I won't say I was impressed with my performance this week because I kind of still repeated the mistake I made because on Monday and Tuesday, on Wednesday, I took it upon myself to kind of like um to backtest, to study on take on areas where I should be looking at taking profits instead of like having a fixed RR. All right. But after I did a study, I kind of finished doing the study about Friday, right? But even at that, I should have still kept on like following what I already know works. Do you get what I mean? Following what I already know works, and so I just kind of like traded discretionarily from Wednesday to Friday, and it kind of hurts my equity curve. Do you get what I mean? We exited this week with break even. We're still gonna go on to the chart though, and I just wanna put it out there first. So let's go on to the chart right now. So guys, we should have actually hit our 4% goal and start risking 1% by next week. If I had just like traded mechanically how I used to, right? But I'm gonna show you guys. But that still doesn't mean anything. We're gonna come back next week. I'm not gonna repeat the mistake. There's a reason why I repeated the mistake though. I didn't just repeat the mistake based on repeating the mistakes. You get what I mean? So yeah. So let me look at the first trade I took out on July 7th. And as you guys can see, it actually took 7 trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 trades. That's crazy. So I'm still even after the first 2 trades, I just filtered out the because I filtered out the C setups. I filtered out the B setups. Now the A setups, I'm also grading the A setups into two, and I also want to filter the ones that are still kind of giving me some losing streaks in my back testing. Do you get what I mean? I'm already leaning towards the I'm already leaning to a specific one that kind of gives me that consistency in not having losing streaks in both consolidating market and in the trading market, right? Or the other A grade setup, right? Or let's just say A plus and A setup. While the A setup, it has winning streaks, but like it performs woefully in some market condition and gives a lot of losing streaks. Do you get what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I can still use it, but know when to use it, and probably have a rule against some specific times to use it, that kind of thing. So let's go to the first trade I took. What was the trade? Okay, it was a sales. It was a sell. This was 6 a.m. 7th of July. Okay. So let me come over 6 a.m. 7th of July. It was a loss right here, and it's just simple my repeatable and it's just a simple market was bearish, and I started looking for opportunities to join the bearishness of the market, right? And this trade was during 6 a.m. right here. So it just basically I waited for even this setup self. I don't think it was really like, because if we look at this counter trend right here that I kind of used as my entry, it was a fake out, right? It was a fake out. It was a fake out candle. It was a fake out candle I kind of used as my entry right here. But regardless, I will kind of like I've dished out this particular setup right now. Because not like the win rate is not good, but like number one is that I don't want to be trading every day. Do you get what I mean? 7 trades a week is too much. Do you understand? So like, I just want to like dish out those setups that are not giving me like, that are still kind of giving me some losing streaks, some certain months in my back testing. Do you get what I mean? So I'm just dishing out the setups right now. So this was the first trade I took for the week, and it was a loss right there. So if we come over to back here, let me just rush you guys through this thing. So the second trade, so this was the second trade I took, and this one too was a loss. It was a loss. It was a loss. Yeah, the first two trades I took was a loss. Let me come over to the aftermath of the trade. Yeah, it was a loss. It was a loss right here. So I think it was still on. I think it was same day. Okay, no, 7. The first one was 7. The second one was 8, and the third one I took. So after I took the first two losses, because this 1, 2, 3, 4 were losses, and they were kind of like in the same category of setups. Did you get what I mean? So I just dished it out. I just dished that setup out because, like I said, I don't want to be taking too many trades. And so trade 8. Okay, so this was trade 8. This one was a very fast trade. So when I entered, okay, this was my entry right here. So after this break, I don't want to fall for fake out. So I just waited for the break of the structure right here, and then I waited for a retest back to at least half of this candle right here. But now there's something about this trade that I don't really like. Do you get what I mean? According to, I could have done better on this trade, right? Because it was actually a very good win. And why did I say that I could have done better? If you look at the aftermath of the trade, okay, if you look at the aftermath of the trade right here, and I'm gonna be putting the screenshots of the MT5 also right here, and probably on my dashboard also. So I could have done better on this trade, because if we go back to trading view, so this is the first trade. And this is the second trade, and this was the third trade right here. Now on this third trade, as you guys can see right here, I was targeting 103, but which what I'm going to say now is also going to take me to what I finally came to a conclusion of how I'm going to be setting my take profit and all. I set my trading view to be the alerts. I do set alerts. Then when price hit 103 on my trading view, I just went over to my MT5, and then I saw $49. Then I first remember that okay, the dollar amount was not exactly at $25. 25 times 3 is meant to be $75. Do you get what I mean? So even at that, at least it shouldn't be at $49. I'm still gonna put in the screenshot right here also. It shouldn't be at $49. Then I looked at it and I'm like, why? How is it? A lot of consideration like slippage. So the final thing I came to conclusion with, after I kind of studied the TP of a thing, I found out like 50. It's kind of like a 50-50 thing when it comes to take profit, because when it comes to like looking at market structure in setting my take profit, or looking at some certain zones in setting my take profit, it's kind of like 50-50. So I just balanced it out. Okay, I'm going to be using my MT5 to determine my take profit. So now let's say I plan on risking 1%, which is $50. Then 1-3 is going to be 150. So I'm going to be setting at my MT5 to 1-3. Let's say I eventually risk $40 on the trade, right? Let's say I risk $40. I didn't calculate the risk. accurately, 100% accurately, then I risk $40. I'm still gonna put my take profit at 150. Do you get what I mean? Because if I say that okay, the average stuff that if price will get, if the thing is that if price will get to 102, 90% of the time it's gonna get to like 105, 104.5. So what's now the point of still targeting 103 if let's say it's below my 1% risk? So why not just, do you get me? So why don't just like set it at 103? So at the end of the day, if I come over to trading view, it's just gonna be maybe 103.70 or 104 even, right? But whenever it's above, let's say I plan on risking $50, and then the amount of risks I eventually placed was like 55, I'm still gonna just times it by 3, 55 times 3. Do you get what I mean? But if it is below, I'm still gonna have that fixed dollar amount at 150, for example. Do you understand what I mean? So that's just my plan, because I don't want to trade discretionary. Do you understand what I mean? And yeah, so this was the third trade we took, and so yeah, it's my brother really went far. So let me come back to the profitable channel. Okay, so this was the third trade, and let's go over to the fourth trade. What was on the fourth trade? Okay, so this was the fourth trade. Now this trade hits me out at break even. I think so. It hits me out at break even. That's the aftermath. 1, 2, 3, 4, July 9th. It hits me out at break even. I think so. Yeah, it hits me out at break even right here. And I mean, I was following my rule basically. When price hits 102, I said break even. And yeah, so let me go over to itself and show you guys the trade exactly. Okay, so this was the trade right here. So price hit me out at break even right there. And yeah, should I have set break even? Of course, I'm following my rule. And yep, so that's that for this particular trade. So let's go to the over to the probably fourth trade or something like that. Let me just delete these guys. And mind you guys, I should like, I'm not really invested into this video. I just want to make this video as fast as possible before I can make it again. So where is it? Okay, so this was the fifth trade. Is this fifth or sixth? So now this was the fifth trade, and mind you, after I dished out the, you know, the what's it called, the setups that was kind of causing losses. After I dished out it, I still was seeing a lot of trades. Do you get what I mean? I still was seeing a lot of trades, and I'm still gonna dish out one again. So you're just gonna be left with two. It's just like a more of a higher time frame confirmation kind of thing, so that I can be waiting for trades more longer than taking 7 trades in a week, that kind of thing. But even at that, there'll still be weeks where I'm taking 6 trades, even with the one I still want to dish out, but it's not gonna be much per se. Basically, before I took this trade, yeah, I already missed a lot of moves. Let me show you guys on my so I missed a lot of moves. I posted it on my Instagram. I missed one move here. This was like I literally, so whenever I'm anticipating a setup around 11 to 12 o'clock, I just, you know, stay on my chart and just back there, stand up. Do you get what I mean? So after price, so I was waiting for price to patiently come back to this gap. As you can see, most of the time price is going to come back to this gap, but then price eventually came back to this gap around 5 a.m, which is not in my session, right? Like I said, I trade in blocks of time in specific time zones. So and price really went up, after price came back to fill the gap right here. And I also was anticipating, if you guys watch, I drew a line right here. There was a line I drew right here. I was anticipating for price to come here around 6 o'clock also. But price came all the way here, didn't tap me in around 6:50, and then it was 7 o'clock. I can't take any trade anymore. And then the trade I now took, this was eventually the trade I took by 10 o'clock ish, and it hit stop loss, right? So after this one hit stop loss, I was still following my rule. I didn't break my rule just to enter a setup or something like that. It was still part of the plan, right? So let me come over to the fifth or what trade I took. So now this was the sixth trade I took, and this was the seventh trade I took. Now this was where I really fumbled. I really fumbled on these two trades. I don't know, maybe those missed trades I've had kind of messed up with my head or something like that. It's not actually that. I think one of the reason is that this first trade here, I would say that I've kind of built a habit of when I enter a trade, because I entered the trade at, if you guys watch, 11:10 p.m. also. So now I've kind of built a habit of when I enter a trade at 11, and then I wake up at, let's say, 5 o'clock, and then the trade is already in profit, I just close it out. Do you get what I mean? So now this was when I woke up right here. I woke up at 5:35 a.m. right? I woke up at 5:35 a.m. And the thing about it is that me closing, like I said, one of the reasons why I just started trading discretionarily was that I was still studying on an objective target. Do you get what I mean? Instead of just fixed RR or something like that. And an objective kind of price action target, right? Because fixed RR also is objective. So so I woke up at 5:35. I just looked at my chart, I just closed it. Right? I closed it at 35, I think $35. Right? So exactly here, that's when I closed it. And then I did my markets prep, and then I looked for another position right here, still in my A grade, right? All these positions now, they are A grade setups, but I'm still kind of like separating the A grades also, for me to have A plus and A setups, and then dish out the A setups again. That's kind of the stuff I'm leaning towards. So right now I took this trade and I still fumbled. Why did I fumble? I don't have a rule of tightening my stop loss. All I have is set break even when price gets to 1 to 2. Do you get that kind of thing? But I didn't, I was trading discretionarily. I wasn't really doing set and forgets. So I came back to the chart. I saw that price had made a low. Price came back to an FUG. Do you get what I mean? And most of the time price shouldn't. That's kind of like one of the reasons why I just like tighten the stop loss below this low. Then price pushed up, came back to hit me out. If I hadn't tightened the stop loss, we would have hit our targets. We would have hit our targets. Right? We would have hit our target of 1 to 3. Right? And price just kept on tanking up. Now the funniest part also is that if I had left this to hit 1 to 3, I would not have taken it straight. Right? I don't think I would have taken it straight. Now, if I hadn't taken it straight, I would have taken another trade right here. Still my A plus setup. I would have taken another trade right here. Right here. But when price hits me out at partial stop loss, I'm just like, I'm done for the week. Now I'm done for the week. And I just want to say something. If I come back next week and I don't follow my plan of the rule I state, according like set and forget, just coming back when price hits my alert, that kind of thing, I'm gonna take a break from YouTube for like 1 month. Do you get what I mean? Because right now I've dished out the fact that I've dished out the area whereby my edge is no longer the problem, right? Even though my edge has, even though my edge isn't really like the problem, I should have figured that shit out since a long time ago. So I was still a problem. But just for you to understand what I mean, my edge is not really the problem. I have a better win rate right now, far better win rate, and so the only thing that can come against that is me not babysitting my my positions. Do you get what I mean? So it's just more about set and forget works for me, right? It's something I love doing, but I don't know why I didn't do it on the streets. Do you understand? If I had done it, we would have hit our target of 4% and start risking 1% by next week, and probably look to pass phase one in 2 weeks or something like that. So yeah, we're gonna come back next week, and opportunities are everywhere. Gonna come back next week and do my thing. I hope you guys have a profitable week. So I just exited this week with $5. Instead of, we should have exited this week with about 75 times 2 or 75 plus maybe the first 30 that I probably had closed. That kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna come back next week. Now I already have a plan, right? I've done my study. I have an objective plan, fixed RR, and how I'm gonna do it, right? Because if you also look at all these trades that I took, all the wins I had, if I just set my take profit on my MT5 at 1:3 of $25, everything would have gotten hit. And that is what my backtesting also tells me consistently. It will smash to be like say nothing is there. So I'm gonna come back next week and do my thing. But if I don't follow my rule, I'm taking a break from YouTube and just lock in with my shit next week. Peace out.